Well, I didn't know who Mauricio Lara was. I do now. That was an absolute shell-lacking. I felt pretty bad for Josh Warrington in there. And all credit to the Mexican for putting the spotlight on Warrington as soon as the fight was over and saying, paramedics get in here, this guy has just taken a shell-lacking. It wasn't just a loss. Referee Howard Foster tried to do the named fighter a favour. He gave him every benefit of the doubt in that fourth round. And now in retrospect, all he did was secure a massive beating for him. A beating that we don't know how much it's taken out of Josh Warrington in the long run. Psychologically, that's another question. I was pretty dismissive of Mauricio Lara. I didn't know the guy. When you look at a record and a fighter's never fought for any kind of title and he's mostly fought in his home country and he's up against an established world champion, you have to go with the world champ. There was the little remark by WBO featherweight champ Emmanuel Navarrete that this guy can punch. Okay. But that wasn't enough to make me think, right, this guy is going to win. In the first round, though, I saw he was going to cause trouble. Lara had that casual look about him, but that left hook, man, you could see that had some weight behind it. Confusing delivery with his punches. He was almost doing a bit of an up jab, a corkscrew jab that was catching Warrington. You could see he had some tricks up his sleeve. And Warrington, a little bit to his detriment, was making it easier for Lara because he just thought, this guy isn't up to my standard and I want a knockout victory. Josh Warrington, as we know, is a guy who hasn't got many knockouts. He's still somewhat fighting for a good reputation. He's trying to get more people excited about his career because he's always been doubted. But that desire to just want to get rid of Lara, that just helped him get beat up that bit more. He felt the power early on, but he was still like, I want to knock you out. And in the fourth round, he traded hooks with a hooker. And man, it was pretty brutal from there on. Now, the likes of Tyson Fury has already tweeted. He's put emphasis on inactivity. Yes, 16 months of inactivity, I believe it was. That's not ideal. But I think it was more just being anxious and really wanting to shine a little bit. There were parallels here with Anthony Joshua's loss to Andy Ruiz. A little bit over-eager, wanting to jump the gun, wanting to hurt your opponent, and that got him into trouble. Now, no, Josh Warrington has never been a defensive whiz. He likes to get stuck in, but a difference in this fight I saw compared to some of his famous victories, Warrington normally knows when to turn it on and when to turn it off. He'll do clever little ambush attacks, then he'll move around the ring. As early as the second and third round, he was just winging with both hands because he didn't think anything of Lara. Somewhat like me, I didn't know about him. And he just got absolutely eaten up. Perhaps didn't show a lot of intelligence, the fact he got hit with the shots that he was feeling and yet still piling in. In fairness, I think after the fourth round, he didn't really know what to do. He was in survival mode. He was trying to hold it together. But because Warrington's style is naturally a bit aggressive, he kind of kept going back to that default mode. And he was just digging his own grave there. Again, all credit to Lara. You can talk about a bit tight at the weight. No, inactivity doesn't help. I think the real culprit was trying to knock him out. But then that's Warrington's fault. Don't try and knock out a massive knockout puncher. Emmanuel Navarrete was right. Mauricio Lara can really punch. I also see a guy who can definitely be outboxed. And I think Josh Warrington could outbox him in a rematch. And that's what he's faced with now. Insane. He was a champion not long ago. Now he's got to have a rematch with a guy. I don't see any other way forward. A guy who was supposed to just be a little stepping stone. God, he has got himself into a right state here. And Warrington can improve, but how much is that taken out of him physically? Psychological damage, I don't know. And of course, in a rematch, Mauricio Lara could improve as well. it's a hell of a situation for the Leeds Warrior. It was an amazingly entertaining fight. Maybe some criticism for his corner, who let him carry on after the 4th round, because from rounds 5 to 9, unnecessary. Can he come back? I don't know. But I do know he's got a brick wall in front of him there. Big credit to Mauricio Lara. I hope he is going to get paid very well, particularly if there is a rematch. Viva Mexico.